One more time. What is up, y'all? The Fiend Bray Wyatt back again with another video. Thank you to everybody who joined me in my last live stream last night of NXT TakeOver Portland. So today I'm here to talk about the 5 possible challengers for the Fiend Bray Wyatt at Elimination Chamber 2020. So, as most of you are aware of, Goldberg is currently on Bray Wyatt's next list. But who could the Fiend defend his Universal Championship against at the pay-per-view after Super Showdown, which is the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view? So, we're going to talk about it. We are nearly halfway through the road to WrestleMania, and as per is the usual case with their post-Rumble booking, WWE has a few filler pay-per-views scheduled before we get to the big event. The next one will see The Fiend defend his Universal title against Goldberg. While it is not totally hard to imagine Goldberg unseating Bray Wyatt of his reign, it would be a safe bet to say that his title run does not end just over a month before the granddaddy of them all, talking about Goldberg. If we are to stick with that safe bet, then we have to start thinking about who could possibly challenge the Fiend for his title at the final stop before Mania, Elimination Chamber. Now, as most of you have been aware of, it's been leaked that the #1 Contenders Chamber match to decide his opponent for WrestleMania will consist of Roman Reigns, Robert Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, and King Jobber. As always, cards are subject to change, especially those that have yet to be officially announced. But WWE stands by this match listing, who outside of these 6 men could the Fiend face at Elimination Chamber. Now, let me just say for a fact that it's going to be interesting, because of all the men that I said, there is actually 3 people I would like to see the Fiend face at WrestleMania: Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, or King Jobber. In case you guys don't know who King Jobber is, I'm talking about King Corbin. Acts like a dictator most of the time, so let's start with the top 5 possible challengers for the Fiend at the Elimination Chamber. Starting off with Mustafa Ali. On the surface, this may seem random, given that Ali's been in limbo, booking-wise, and has been pretty absent from WWE storylines for a while now, which don't know why. Not to mention, when we do see him, he ends up losing. No offense, Ali. However, with an Elimination Chamber being a filler pay-per-view, it certainly doesn't hurt to give an opportunity to someone who wouldn't get it otherwise. Plus, no matter how far away from WWE TV he's been, fans still feel endured by Ali. They want to root for him, and they want to see him succeed, so it wouldn't be hard to sell him as a top challenger. Understandable on that, if you know what I mean. Especially if, say, he wins a #1 Contenders Battle Royale on SmackDown. Plus, given how much people love Ali and go nuts for the Fiend, it never hurts to put 2 popular over stars in the ring together. This contest would be a battle of the light taking on the embodiment of evil. A concept like that has enough power to make for as compelling of a storyline heading to the pay-per-view as it would make for just a fun match between 2 contrasting styles. Even if everybody knows in the back of their minds that Ali has no chance at winning, fans of his just want to see him get a title shot and therefore will be invested. Kind of like Kofi Kingston. Speaking of which, number 4 is actually Kofi Kingston. Speaking of people the fans just wanted to see succeed, add Kofi Kingston to that sort of list as well. Given how audiences have been begging, particularly dying, to see Kingston return to the main event picture after losing his WWE Championship in ridiculously shocking amount of time, which was actually bull. That match should have lasted longer, but Brock Lesnar did that, and history was made. We got a small taste of Kingston returning to prominence when he briefly went toe-to-toe with the man who beat him for the belt, Brock Lesnar, during the Royal Rumble match a few weeks ago. In just that brief amount of time, the crowd was electric. That suggests to me that even though he has had his sights on tag team competition and been absent from the world title picture entirely since losing the belt, audiences are still dying to see Kofi Mania make a comeback. Which will actually be interesting to see Kofi Mania return. That would actually be amazing. From the bottom of my heart, it will actually be amazing. Granted, the way that the WrestleMania card is shaping up at the moment, it seems unlikely he'll get another world title opportunity at this year's Mania. But why not let Kofi Mania come early the month prior for the Elimination Chamber? Just to remind fans that Kofi has a spot in the main event picture when the time is right. So don't count out Kofi yet. Even if now might not be the best time to put the world title around his waist again, just give us a title match to whet our appetite. Now, when I was making my top 5, I never thought I was going to put this guy down for number 3. Which, by the way, is Sheamus. The days of looking stupid are long behind Sheamus, as the former WWE Champion has looked anything but stupid since making his return to the ring from injury. I didn't even know he got injured. How did he get injured anyway? I gotta look that up. It'll be hard to look stupid when someone has been on a undefeated streak, laying waste to the likes of Shorty G and Apollo Crews. Even at this early of a stage in his return, the Celtic Warrior certainly has picked up enough steam to justify a title match. But a brief title feud with the Fiend will have less to do with momentum and more to do with his mission statement in returning to SmackDown. And the build-up to his return to SmackDown, considering all of the vignettes where he suggested that SmackDown had gone soft because the roster was now full of misfits, kings, weaklings, and a Shorty G. One name that he dropped among the softies was The Fiend. That seemed to allude to a feud between The Fiend and the formerly Mohawked Irishman. Even though the two are heels, it would not be hard to turn Sheamus into a tweener of sorts. Regardless of heel or face alliances, Sheamus could be positioned as a guy who wants to fight anyone who tarnishes his vision of what SmackDown is supposed to be. Number 2, John Cena. WWE have already officially announced that John Cena would be making his return to WWE TV on the February 28th episode of Friday Night SmackDown. That is just over a week before Elimination Chamber. Most speculation regarding his return is that he is coming back to start setting up his feud and storyline for WrestleMania. But if instead he is returning to But what if instead he is returning to announce a match for himself at Elimination Chamber, especially a title match against The Fiend? It will not be the first time that Cena used his return to demand a title match immediately on his way back. While this would not be the first time that John Cena took on Bray Wyatt, Wyatt's new character change would present a new dramatic dynamic between these two. A match between The Fiend and John Cena will be closer to Cena's later battles where he was brutalized by Brock Lesnar, opposed to any 20-plus minute match he's had against either of World's era Wyatt. Now stop right there for a minute from me talking. It actually makes me wonder something. Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, has changed people with his gloves, as some will say. Because when, let's see, I forgot who this was. When he attacked Finn Balor with the mandible claw, he used the hurt heel, the hurt glove, making Finn Balor a heel. Next, he used it on Seth Rollins, making him a heel. Next, he used it on Daniel Bryan, making him a face. The Miz, I'm not too sure about. So it will actually shock me if John Cena comes back as a face, since they say Bray Wyatt's a heel, and turn John Cena into a heel. That would actually be amazing to see. Plus, this match fits in Bray Wyatt's new mission statement to settle old score with past rivals, because The Fiend never forgets, as Bray Wyatt says. Last time Bray Wyatt tangled with Cena, Wyatt came out on the losing end of that rivalry. Maybe this is an old score for The Fiend to settle before Mania. So, before I get to my number one pick for the number one possible challenger for The Fiend to face at the Elimination Chamber, I thought long and hard about this. Big time. Because you guys think about it. This is a match that people want to see happen. It's between this wrestler or Sting. And most people say that Sting won't return. However, in a Twitter that Bray Wyatt put up, and I quote, "I want to face Sting." He basically said that he wants to face Sting in his debate match on Monday Night Raw. But however, when I picked this guy, it actually makes perfect sense. So my number one possible challenger for The Fiend to face at the Elimination Chamber is no other than The Undertaker. Speaking of unsettled scores, Bray Wyatt's feud with The Undertaker certainly could also fall under that boat. Wyatt has only crossed paths with Taker twice, once at WrestleMania 31 and then at Survivor Series later that same year in a tag team match. And both times saw Wyatt on the losing end of a dead man beatdown. If there was ever an unforgotten score that The Fiend felt needed to be settled, it will have to be this one against The Undertaker. Most importantly, a title match against The Fiend, regardless if he wins or loses, would be a nice way to reintroduce audiences to the Phenom a month before WrestleMania 36, especially since new rumors and reports are suggesting that Taker is supposed to have a Mania belt of his own against AJ Styles at the show of shows. A match at Elimination Chamber not only reminds audiences that he can do in that ring, but the pay-per-view event can be used to somehow set up AJ Styles versus Taker for Mania, or set up whatever match WWE have in store for future Hall of Famer, for the future Hall of Famer. Beyond anything I just mentioned, Fiend versus Undertaker, two mystical monsters, would just be incredibly fun. So yes, there you have it, folks. Those are my 5 possible challengers for the Fiend to face at the Elimination Chamber. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and leave a comment in the comment section below if you have any questions or comments. Just let me know. Until next time, the Fiend is out. Let me in.